What up, what up, what up? Another week, another Fatlazy video, another Can't Logout challenge for you all. This week, we're returning back to my most successful video format, which just hit 69k views. Nice. But this time, with a Legion remix twist. This week, I can't log out of the game until I hit max level, like I said, in Legion remix. That's right, this fat and lazy panda cannot stop playing the game until that juicy level 80 is reached. So without further ado, let's do this. Okay, so first things first, we need to pick ourselves a class. Now the last time we did this challenge, I leveled a monk, and in fact I leveled Fatlazy Panda, his wife, Miss Fatlazy. So sadly, monk is out the question. But for those new to World of Warcraft, there are 13 classes to choose from. Monk, Warrior, Mage, Druid, Death Knight, Warlock, Evoker, Paladin, Hunter, Shaman, Rogue, Priest, and last but not least, to fit in with the Legion theme, we're gonna go with the only class left I've not mentioned. And of course, this is the Demon Hunter. The infamous class, You Are Not Prepared, which came out with Legion. It just makes sense, doesn't it? It just fits what we're trying to do here. Will I go Vengeance? Will I go Havoc? Who knows? There's only one way to find out, but first, enough yapping, let's get this character looking very nice and spicy. So like I said, last time we did this challenge, we made Mr. Fatlazy Panda, his wife, Miss Fatlazy. So this time round, we're going to do the same thing. I've got a DH character already, a night elf called Still Green. Insert meme now.
You didn't miss them by much. It's Still Green. They headed north 2 hours ago.
Hey, Still Green. They headed north 2 hours ago.
Yep, that's where I got the name from. Haha, very funny. But, you know, he's looking lonely, Still Green. Maybe he needs a wife. So we're gonna make She's Green. Yes, you heard me right. But, you know, obviously, there's a bit of friction there. She's not gonna be on the Alliance. She's not gonna be a night elf. She's gonna be a blood elf. And I forgot to mention, you know, there's multiple races you can choose from as well. From orcs to humans to night elves to cows and pandas. You know, it's got everything. Everything you could ever ask for. Anyways, moving on. We made the character. Made her look very nice. I'd go out on a date with her. Oh my god. The date of my dreams. Mrs. She's Green. Anyways, shut up Fatlazy Panda. We've called her. She's got a name. She's got a look. Let's get into some Legion remix.
Citizens of Azeroth.
So, we start off in Dalaran with Khadgar.
Today is the day we turn.
And he's just letting us know, you know, we're here to kick some burning Legion butt. And it's time to do it in Fatlazy Panda style, or should I say, She's Green style. Yes, Khadgar. You know, this is Khadgar before the War Within, and his old grandpa, Khadgar in his wheelchair, doing fuck all. Back then, look at him. Him and the boys could blow away the Legion ships, and then teleport Dalaran right into the heart of the Broken Isles. Hell yeah, Khadgar. Hell yeah. So, we began the challenge in Dalaran. And, you know, just a quick time check. It's 1 in the afternoon, Saturday the 10th of October. So that's where we begin. Start the timer now. There's not going to be a timer on screen, but you get the point, you get the point. So Khadgar sent us around Dalaran. You know, slaying some demons, making use of us to do some free labour, as well as giving us the opportunity to choose our spec. So would I go Havoc, would I go Vengeance? I was unsure. At the moment I went with Havoc. You can interchange between these, however there is a bug when it comes to the talent tree for some people, so just make sure you definitely choose the spec that you want to play. And this is the talent tree. We learnt our ability, which basically gets our cooldowns back quicker, but we'll go into more detail on that in a little bit. For now, we were introduced to the Grand Bazaar, basically a little island outside of Dalaran, where it would be the main hub to get all our goodies. So let's dive into that a little bit more. So there are 3 currencies in Legion Remix, the first being bronze. If you remember Mod Remix, bronze was used to not only buy cosmetics, but upgrade your gear. This time round, it's not used for upgrading gear, it's purely used for cosmetics. such as some lovely new Legion Remix mounts, or to spend them on old mounts such as Profession mounts, Raid mounts, Dungeon mounts. You get it, mounts galore. There's also some new overhauls of the class mounts, you know, like a Fell edition of each and every class mount in the game, as well as some pets. I mean, look at him, look at that cute corgi, who wouldn't want him, who wouldn't want him? As well as some transmog, you know, such as your dungeon transmogs, your raid transmog, overworld transmogs, and if you buy one of them, you'll get them all. You know, if you buy the raid one from Tomb of Sargeras, you're gonna get the raid finder, the normal, the heroic, and the mythic, all in a one-er. Very nice. But more importantly, you can get the free big boy items. Yep, you can get the fire sword, the red shoulders, but more importantly, because I've got them both, you can get the Scythe of the Unmaker, the red one. That's why I'm playing this game. It's not out yet. It releases with the Burning Throne raid when that comes out, but that's why I'm here. I want me that red scythe. It's gonna happen. I'm finally gonna get it, boys and girls. Anyways, so that's bronze. Moving on now to infinite power. So infinite power basically is what you'll be using to upgrade your artifact weapon, and like bronze, you can get this from a whole range of activities, from, you know, basically just playing the game. Easy as. Now this is basically the second priority when it comes to power gain in Legion Remix, and I'll explain why. So as you can see, when you eventually get your artifact weapons, you know, which is pretty early on into the game, you can then right click on them and get yourself into the talent tree. There are 5 different paths to choose from, and they'll all cost yourselves some infinite power, which you can see in the top right. At the moment I have 51,000 of it available to spend. But this is the end game tree. I'm just showing you that so you get a full feel for it. And you'd work your way down one of the 5 paths, and then at the end there is basically another talent called Limits Unbound. And that is, once you hit max level, you'll basically just be spending every 50,000 will go into Limits Unbound of limited power. So yeah, that's pretty simple. But why I wanted to quickly mention this is when I said you choose the spec, some people are having that with their second spec or their third spec, you can't access Limits Unbound for whatever reason. So that's the bug I mentioned. Just a heads up, make sure you choose the right spec to start off with. We then move on to the third and final currency, and what is the most important one. It's infinite knowledge. Now infinite knowledge you can get from a numerous amount of sources, whether it's completing certain dungeon and raid achievements, whether it's completing lore master related achievements, or whether it's doing things such as killing enemies while heroic tier is activated, which is this new feature which basically you can make the overworld gameplay, so when you're going out questing, much harder than normal. Or another way, for example, to earn it is just by collecting infinite power, that other currency we previously just talked about. So all in all, you want to farm as much infinite knowledge as you can, and then by playing the game and farming that, you're going to get yourself a lot of infinite power and even more bronze to spend on cosmetics. So the last thing I want to cover is gearing. How do we gear up? So one of the ways that we're going to earn gear is by completing quests, and the harder the quests, the better the cash we get. So, you know, just completing a standard quest will get you a cache of treasures, you can get a cache of infinite power, etc, etc. But just bear in mind this scales with as you're playing. So if you're opening it at the start, you're going to get low item level stuff. If you're opening it at max level, you're going to get gear relative to the item level that you're currently at. There is then also Motes of Broken Time, and for combining 10 of these, you get yourself a juicy bit of gear. So it's not going to be, you know, anything shit, it will probably be an upgrade. There's also a scrapping feature. You'll always have this extra action button where you can get rid of all the gear that you don't want and scrap them for bronze, similar to in Mod Remix. And then finally, there are also these tokens you get from doing harder content, such as raids, which are fragments of something, I can't remember, but basically you combine 100 of these and it gives you an absolute shit ton of infinite power, which you use to upgrade your artifact weapon. Now with the basics out the way, let's get back into the challenge. I did this whole thing blind, and as I was playing I didn't really know what I was doing, so I thought I'd do a little segment there, so if you're thinking about playing it, you at least have a bit of an understanding and aren't doing a wild goose chase like me, figuring out what the hell I need to do. Just one last thing, this isn't a speed run, I'm just chilling, enjoying playing the game. I know it's the Can't Logout challenge, but that's not a race to the finish line, it's just a simply, sit down, game away, hit max level, Bob's your uncle. Anyways, moving on. So we're back in the Grand Bazaar and we're doing ourselves a new feature, some infinite research, which basically is just daily quests which give you juicy rewards. Now at the start of the game you can do up to 18 of these, so you can start leveling, do 18 of them, and then once per day you can do 3 more. Dead simple. But obviously because we've just started, we're going to be doing these over and over again because they give a good XP, they give good bronze, and more importantly, they give good item rewards. So yeah, Mr. Dragon, thank you for all the juicy quests. I continued on and got my artifact weapon upgraded, the Twin Blades of the Deceiver. Hell yeah, brother. And then we made our merry way back to Dalaran. And when we got back, we dinged level 14, just under an hour into the challenge. Wow. And then did some dungeons. Well, I did 1 or 2, because the infinite research wanted me to. Then choosing a zone to start doing some quests in. And you know me, I like to work left to right. So we're going with not Stormheim, not Hard Mountain, not Val Shara, whatever you say it, it's Hasuna. And that's where we'll begin our questing journey. But not before getting our artifact weapon for our tank class vengeance. So, welcome aboard the Alderaki Warblades. Hell yes. So I continued on my questing journey in Asuna, taking on boss Whalebelly. Take that, you filthy walrus. I also did a few more Dungerinos, again, because the infinite research wanted me to do so, and I wanted to do them. And I went and handed these in. Got some juicy rewards, but more importantly, it was now time for me to go, you know what? The outdoor leveling hasn't been too bad. Let's try out this heroic world tier mode, should I say, which basically makes everything you're doing in the open world much more difficult. And little did I know at the start of the game how difficult this would be. In fact, when I went and tested it out, forget about being a DPS. You're getting one banged. A healer, you're not going to be doing any damage. And if you don't have a tank spec, well, good luck. But the benefit of this is basically, when you're looting stuff, instead of just getting shit, you got a load of juice that would go towards your stats. So you're getting a lot more stamina and, stuff that powers up your artifact weapon. I can't really remember the gist of it, but basically it's way worth your time. Make sure you've got a tank class. And also there's these things, these offerings that would empower you with certain things. Sometimes you go into sell, sometimes they give you a bit of a buff for damage. And then went into the raid finder and decided to tank some LFR for the first time. Into the Emerald Nightmare we went. But again, I started a couple days later than everybody else. So for the most time, aggro would just, I couldn't hold it because the damage was too high. I found this hilarious though. On our way to the second boss, and someone put down a brand stone, so, we fought the dragons. There's a raid full of brands. Absolutely ridiculous, but my god, I loved every second of it. Then the infinite research would make me try out the different abilities on my artifact weapons skill tree. The first one, I don't know the name for it, but it's a Plunderstorm ability basically. That one that would fire out the orb, like the mana orb, and then it would kind of loop back round and do some more damage on its way back in. Very nice, lovely stuff. Then thought I'd try the other raid that is up at the moment, the Trial of Valor. And I did a bit of that business. Took out some Greek gods, is that what they are? Odin, is he a Greek god of war? Could be wrong there. Before testing out some of the other abilities, we had Vindicator's Judgment, I remember the name of that one. And basically, what that did, it would cast down like a big boomy beam, it would interrupt them, and pulsate some damage. I then also found out that when you kill mobs, in Heroic World tier mode, it has a chance to spawn demons. And in particular, there's one that can spawn off the back of requesting offerings. These bad boys, the Doomguard Challenger. And I thought, I might not be able to do much damage to it, but I'm in a tank spec, it should be fine. And little did I know, this little elite ad was more like a raid boss. And it got me panicking. I was fine, 10%, doing all the mechanics. I turned my back to him like an idiot, and I'm dead. My first death. Fuck you. We move on. I continued questing, saving some dragons' lives, killing elites which took 3 to 5 business days to kill because of this new world tier thing. Honestly, an elite or a rare took the absolute piss, but we're only going to get stronger from here, and they're only going to get quicker to defeat. I then tried out the Fell Roar on my skill tree, and it turns out that this one's absolutely cracked. I think this is the best in slot for pretty much every class. I think melee classes especially. But it was a joke compared to the rest. You summon like a demon that debuffs him and does some damage. And by some, I mean a shit ton. I mean, look at me. This is only early doors. And look at the DPS. They're getting nowhere near the tank. Mrs. She's Green is doing nothing but DPS. My god, this talent's the best, I might just stick with it. And eventually, we got ourselves up to level 47, almost 8 hours into the challenge. I will admit though, I did remain logged in, but I ordered myself some food. It was a weekend, I watched a couple episodes of anime, but I did remain logged in, so that will affect the time, but hey, a brother's gotta eat. A fat lazy panda needs to keep fat, and he also needs to remain lazy. I'm not, not fit and efficient, I'm fat and lazy. Okay, so I carried on questing a bit, doing things like getting the first chapter of the Pillars of Creation complete, continuing on questing away in Azuna, doing my thing as a demon hunter, vengeance player, and also tanking some more dungeons, because why the hell not? And then something incredible happened. I'll give you just a few seconds to try guess what it is just by looking on screen. And while you're looking, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you're enjoying the content. Go on, do it. It only takes a second. I'm so close to 5k subs. And also, join the community Discord. Link will be in the description below. But anyways, have you figured out what it was yet? Maybe, I'll give you a little bit more time. There's a bit more clues on the screen right now as what it could be that I'm getting at. Something that literally got me super hyped. And it wasn't, I'll be honest, till the very end of the dungeon where I spotted it. And good job I did spot it, because I would have missed an absolute gem. I'll tell you that. So let me just get this pack out the way, and that's when I was like, hold on a goddamn minute. Hold the phone. What is going on, bro? Oh my god. Mr. Rogue in the group. He's called Fatlazy. What the fuck? I actually couldn't believe it. Am I a celebrity now? Mum, I'm famous? Is this it now? Is this as good as it's ever gonna get? Have I peaked as a YouTube content creator? I remember me and my friend talking way back in the day, being like, when I first started this, way back in the day, being like a year ago, being like, lol, imagine if you get to the point where someone's named after you. You'll have made it, Fatlazy. And here is that day. I actually couldn't believe it. I was so hyped, I won't lie. I couldn't believe some dude was named after me. So we killed the boss and I was like, dude, I can't believe you called Fatlazy Panda. You got me absolutely hyped to the max. Fatlazy with 2 eyes, the rogue. Literally couldn't believe it. What the hell? What is going on? Oh my god. Look at him. Soak it in. Fatlazy, meet Fatlazy. Hell yes. A duo made in heaven. Are you the real one, lol? Yes, I am. I was on She's Green, so there wasn't much proof, but here's the proof. I always watch the vids. Oh my god, thank you, my dude. Thank you very much. And then I did tell him, look, he loves them. My god, I love you too, bro. I told him I was making one now, and I said you'll be in it. And here you are. Fatlazy the rogue. Meet Fatlazy the person. The panda, should I say. I'm not a person, what you on about? I'm a motherfucking panda. That's what I am. So I dance with my newfound friend. I've got like 3 characters named after you. Oh, I could only respond what was going on in my mind, which was, what the hell? Just what? What a random thing to happen, especially while recording as well. You're a legend, my dude. You're the GOAT. And I love the druid just being like, what the fuck is going on? Perfect. But I continued on after that moment of fame and glory and finished the campaign for Azuna. Man, I'm still hyped looking back on that. What a legend. Everybody on the World of Warcraft servers needs a character called Fatlazy, or something of the likes from this point forward. If you're watching this, I expect you to create a remix alt and call it along the lines of Fatlazy Panda. Okay, please, thank you, moving on. So I flew on over to my new zone to level in Vashara. My new zone. It's gonna be so fun, I tell you that. And that's what I did. I quested my way, Fatlazy Panda style, making my way through the zone, slowly but surely. Also, I was getting ever so close to finishing the line of the talent tree that I was working on, the fell one, and at the end, not that one, fell spike I think it's called. Each of the end rows are basically like your ult ability for that one. So with fell spike, it just does like a big whoop-boom and does a lot of damage. That's right, a big whoop-boom. Yes, pro sound effects here on the Fatlazy channel. So I continued on, doing some dungeoning, doing some questing, putting this fat and lazy panda to work to get leveled up to 70. 10 more levels to go, and it's just gone midnight. I said just gone, it's 5 to 1 in the fucking morning. We're moving, baby. And then found out some lore about She's Green and where she came from, what she's doing, being part of the Illidari. I'll just shut up for a second.
Desire to extinguish all life. They slaughtered our loved ones. They razed our homes, our cities.
Illidan's so cool, man. What happened to Warcraft? What happened?
To stop them, and
Now it's just floating toes and Disney dragons.
so you came to
Fuck's sake.
me. Nothing remained
Fuck's
of you
sake.
but rage and determination. And you learned
My God,
that the
She's
things
Green's
that
pissed
once
off.
tormented you could give you power. Now you see that there is
Well,
no sacrifice too great.
ironic 'cause I'm blind.
It brings an end to the burning legion.
Hell yeah, Illidan. Anyways, at the time I was like, that's enough. That's enough of that. I've seen it about 1,000 times, and I'm sure you have. But this is where I realised, holy shit, not again. Are you kidding me? A server shut down in 7.5 minutes? It's almost 2 AM. What the fuck, Blizzard? On a Saturday? It annoyed me so much because the last time I did this challenge, there was another server shut down. However, I will admit I did do it on a reset night then, so it was kind of deserved. However, the people in the comments said it doesn't count as a logout. It doesn't count, guys, alright? The people in the comments have spoken. I can't believe this happened to me on a Saturday. That's peak gaming time. You know what I mean? Why are we doing maintenance then? But as you can see, I was midway through a Vault of the Wardens because I thought I could sneak one in 7 minutes time. And I got disconnected from the server because Blizzard thought it was a good idea to do a server reset on a Saturday night. You know, when people want to stay up gaming. Fucking bullshit. I thought, you know what? I'm just going to sit here. I'm going to hit reconnect in about half an hour and hope that it works. And luckily, 19 or 20 minutes later, it actually did. I couldn't believe it. It was one of the quickest resets I've ever seen. So thank God, Blizzard, for actually listening. And even though you did a reset, you did it quickly. Alright? So it doesn't count as a logout. I'm pissed. Fuck. But I was level 74. And soon came level 75. And not so long after that, you guessed it, we rose to level 76. Followed by 77. My God. I can almost smell it. I can almost smell my bed because I've been up for way too long at this point. We saved my div. And got to level 78. Hell yes, it's now 3 AM. At night, I've been going for way over 12 hours. At this point. Level 79. Malfurion had some wise words and he said, go talk to the dragon. Because the dragon will present you with what you've been waiting for. To log out. Because you are level 80. Time Runner is a demon hunter. Achieved. Level 80. Achieved. But how long did it take? I did a slash played and it took 13 hours, 6 minutes and 6 seconds. There was probably about an hour and a half to 2 hour break in there because of me getting some food, watching some anime like I said earlier on, and of course the server shut down. Actually that won't count, will it? The server shut down won't be on there because I wasn't logged in. Never mind. But still, about 13 hours, it's not a speed run. Who cares? We did it. Challenge complete. So all that was left to do was head back to the Infinite Bazaar. And this lovely lady here had a quest for me to turn in, which basically made it easier for me to level alts. Very nice. And then we had a shit ton of bronze to spend. I'm talking almost 400,000 bronze coins to spend on some cosmetic rewards. Now I wanted, you know, some of the mounts that I didn't have, like the Shackled Azul, for example. But that's not locked yet, and the only ones that were unlocked, I already had. I had the Spirit of Echo, I had the Fathom Dweller, but I didn't have this bad boy. He cost 100,000 gold coins for this motherfucking turtle. But he's a pretty cool turtle, and I'm glad I've got him. I'll tell you that thing. I also unlocked the class hall for free. This bad boy. For leveling up a Demon Hunter, for leveling up any class, you get that class mount for free. You don't have to pay the 20,000 or 30,000 coins for it. And look at it. It's pretty fucking cool. I think I also bought a couple of pets, like the Corgi that I mentioned earlier on in the video. But I wanted to save, you know, about 250,000 of it for what's down the road, what's down to come. I didn't just want to splurge it all immediately. But I did it! It only took me 13 hours. Not so fat and not so lazy. I think the last time we did this, to do it just, you know, leveling in retail, I think it took me about 15 or 16 hours. So it's an improvement. You're improving, Fatlazy Panda, what can I say? But all that's left to do is hit the griddy. No, I'm joking. All that's left to do is log out. Make sure to like and subscribe. Peace out.